HorrorDeconstruction.
What's up, everybody? It's HorrorDeconstruction with your host Komp. Give us a like, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell icon. Hit that like button. We're on Instagram, Facebook, most likely on YouTube that you're seeing us right now and listening to us. It is the month of October, so we're doing 31 films this month. If you want to hear regular episodes, they're the ones with Danny, who's my co-host, my normal co-host. And then the other episodes that also feature our third co-host, Thea. So you get a whole abundance of episodes. So if you don't like just solo episodes with me, go listen to the ones with Danny or the ones with Danny and Thea. Those are very good episodes. Anyway, the film that we're covering today in this month of October is Haunt from 2019. On Halloween, a group of friends encounter an extreme haunted house that promises to feed on their darkest fears. The night turns deadly as they come to the horrifying realization that some nightmares are real. Directed by Scott Beck and Brian Woods. Written by Scott Beck and Brian Woods, also starring Katie Stevens, Will Brittain, and Lauren Elisa McLean. So I had heard good things about this film. It was a slasher film based on those sort of extreme haunted houses that they have. If you look at like Universal's Halloween Horror Nights kind of thing, where you go into themed houses, and then there's also sort of those haunted hayride houses and stuff like that. And then the really extreme ones where people, I don't know where it's at, but it's like one of those podunk areas where you have to sign paperwork and they're basically legally able to torture you and stuff like that. They have some of those places like in New York too, where I guess people will fake like they're peeing in your face or something like that. I don't know. Dark rooms, and they just scare you and try to make you feel like dog shit or something like that. Whatever. If you're into that, that's fine. I can't even ride one of those fucking Viking ships and Great Adventures where I almost pissed my pants. I'm not going to go into one of these things. Anyway, so this film is about a group of people. It's your standard sort of slasher film, where a group of kids, adults, they're obviously in their 20s or something, they go into one of these, they go off, they're like one of those things where, I heard there's a real cool place where you can visit on Halloween, a really cool haunt attraction that we can go, and it's the scariest house ever, and so they drive off into God knows where and who the fuck knowsville, and they end up at this big sort of, it looks like an industrial complex building, and they go in and they're essentially picked off one by these masked guys that have, like, one of them has like this sort of traditional, it looks like something you'd see in a Chinese circus or something like that. One guy's a clown, one person looks like this or that. It's an interesting film. I prefer if they kept their masks on, because I think that's a big negative factor in the film when you actually see what these people look like under their masks. I think the idea that when these monsters were sort of you don't know what they look like, if they could just be regular guys, then you could be like, oh, okay, fine, that's scary because you don't know who it is. It's not anonymous. But then I tell you this, once they spoilers, once they take their masks off, they all look like the cheesiest fucking D. Snyder Strangeline. Look, like the only person who could pull that off was D. Snyder in Strangeline, because that movie is bad but good at the same time. Well, good is stretching it, but it was entertaining. So they all look like that. Like they're all body modded people, like with nails through their fucking noses and shit like that. And it's like, I don't know if the directors were like, oh man, these guys are extreme. Oh man, look at these guys. Oh man, they're into body mod. Oh boy, that means they're into the extreme part of life. And I'm sure there's people who have like giant gauges in their ear watching this movie going, hey, I think those guys slandered us. But that's I would say the only ridiculous part of this movie, where these people take off their masks and they're supposed to look like human demons or some shit like that. It's just so that was just like that took a point off of me, because it was just so corny looking, and I think that they were trying to get across that these people were obviously insane, and they body modify because they're trying to be extreme, and that was just stupid. But anyway, that's the only real negative aspect for me. But it has a good like nice little slasher. Like I don't know how big this fucking building is, because it seems like it's the size of 2 football fields or something, because they're just going through one location after another in this giant factory that's all built up with spooky shit, like, climbing through places. The one person gets captured and then they're killed in the other room, and you think it's just like in real haunt attractions, they will take people out of the groups and that person will be part of the show, and they mock kill them, or they mock do whatever with them in the audience, and then I think they're. I don't think they're part of the show. They're like they just let out the building or something. I don't know what happens to those people, but I'd feel like shit if I spent $35 and I could only they pull me to be part of the show and they tell me to go kick rocks and stuff. But so that type of stuff happens here. The gore I don't think is super grotesque. They do. I was surprised at one thing they did with the film when they do that sort of protagonist kills the wrong person type of thing, which usually dooms them in the movie. But that's different story in this. So it deals with morality and stuff. Very satisfying conclusion to the film. I like type of films where, you know, protagonist gets every fucker that they can and they find the way. I don't know if that's a spoiler or not, but it is that type of film. This isn't a traditional horror film where it's like, oh, I know there was a movie called Hellscape or Hellgate about some it's a similar thing to this where a guy's running around in a haunted horror haunted nights kind of movie, and it had that type of ending where it's like, well, he could be anybody, and it's like spooky, but it's completely different from here. So it's a more satisfying ending if you're on the side of the protagonist, because I don't think the characters in this film are annoying or anything like that. They are cookie cutter generic, but they're not annoying, not that I remember. And I thought that it was genuinely tense stuff going on in the film. I liked the feel of it. It does feel a little bit low budget. Some of the camera work is a little goofy, but I think in the long run it's still a very entertaining film. And I liked it. You know, there's nothing else I can really say about this film, but I liked it. Except for that one reveal. It's not like it would totally kill a movie, but I thought it was just so cheesy that it was just like, I don't know, that bothered me with the mask stuff. But other than that, I think it's a film that's worth watching, and it does make you think about going into these haunted houses and wondering who really works there. So with that, I would give it a 6 out of 10. Well, I gotta just go with it. Taking your mask off when you shouldn't, because you look like a total pussy when you do. And you're trying to get these kids. And with that, this has been the Horror Deconstruction.
The Horror Deconstruction.